Fisher. Welcome, everybody. We still have a few people checking in, and also when I ordered the schools on my piece of paper, I think I didn't get them exactly in alphabetical order, so it may cause more confusion, just to warn you all. Anyway, I am one of the many organizers of the Student Peace Awards of Fairfax County. This past year has seen 8 major wars and a total of 28 other armed conflicts around the world. The most conservative estimate for 2025 was 240,000 people killed, not to mention the untold numbers maimed, traumatized, starved, and displaced. This week has added even more to the suffering. All of us have times when a feeling of futility numbs us into inaction. Why keep struggling when the destructive elements of human nature are so ascendant in human culture? Will what we do really make a positive difference? As it turns out, the high schools in Fairfax County are able to answer that with a resounding yes. Every October, we ask them to choose one student or group of students who has made a substantial contribution to peacemaking. This is actually not an easy task, because there are countless students, not to mention faculty, who bring their peaceful presence into the lives of their communities. Your schools chose you for shining your lights brightly, demonstrating to all of us that peace and justice are not only necessary, but possible, and that war is not the answer. We'll start today with some thanks and with introductions of some of our guests, 2 of whom will also be saying a few words. I'm then going to invite you to stand up in front while I read a few sentences about each of you. And while I'm doing that, please turn around and face the photographers. We have lots of pictures of the backs of people's heads. After that, we'll have a group picture. And then please stay and chat so we can get to know you better and enjoy the refreshments. If you're fasting today, feel free to pick up some refreshments to take home. We have a book for each of you called Sweet Fruit from the Bitter Tree, a collection of true stories of ordinary people who suddenly found themselves in dangerous situations and who managed to get out of it without resorting to violence. For the past several years, the author Mark Andreas and his publisher have donated signed copies for us to give to you. I'd like to extend our thanks to a few people. First, we're grateful to our friends from the First Church of Christ Scientists who arranged for us to use this community center for the reception. And thank you to the 16 sponsoring organizations who make this program possible, and volunteers in their roles of working with the schools, interviewing the students, writing and editing their profiles, helping with the reception, and presenting certificates at the end of the year. Would the volunteers and sponsors please stand? Okay. Thanks to everybody for coming today to celebrate the accomplishments of these students. And especially thanks to the school staff who go above and beyond every day at school and then came here today in support of their students. If you're one of those school staff members, please stand so we can acknowledge you. And finally, could Jimena Villatoro please stand up? Jimena is the artist who created the peace poster, which is on the back of the program. We've been extremely honored over the years to have members of the school board and other elected officials at our reception, representing our community and its support for peacemaking. I want to pause and remember Congressman Jerry Connolly, who attended for many years and spoke strongly in favor of peace. Last year he was very ill, but despite that came here to what turned out to be one of his last public appearances. We had arranged it so he could remain seated for most of the ceremony, but nothing doing. Every time a high school in his district was announced, he leapt to his feet to give a warm congratulations. May all of us be so faithful and so welcoming. Today we welcome his replacement in Congress and 6 members of our school board. Could you please stand as I name you? From the Drainsville district, which includes Herndon, Langley, McLean, and South Lakes High Schools, Robin Lady. From the Franconia district, which includes Edison, Hayfield, and Lewis High Schools, Marcia St. John Kerning. And from the Mason district, which includes Annandale, Falls Church, Justice, and TJ, Ricardi Anderson. And we have 3 at-large members, which means that they represent all of us. So Kyle McDaniel, Kyle's not here today, okay. Ryan McElvey, and Ilion Moon. We're also very happy to have our new member of Congress, Representative James Walkinshaw. So now I would like to call him up to say a few words, followed by Ryan McElveen, who will speak on behalf of the school board.
Well, thank you, Margaret, and thank you for recognizing and honoring Congressman Connolly. I was his chief of staff for 11 years and had the opportunity to attend this event with him a few times, and I know it is something that he really, really enjoyed. And I didn't fully understand why he enjoyed it so much until I started in this job, because I don't have the luxury in this job of turning off the bad news in the world, or not listening to it, or not paying close attention to it. And there are days when the bad news and the challenges feel really overwhelming. Anybody else feel like that? You guys feel like that sometimes? And I think he loved this event so much because you all, the students, inspired him and renewed his optimism about our community and our country. And hearing your stories of the work that you all do and will continue to do, I think made it easier for him to get up the next day and the next day and the next day and take on the hard challenges that he had to take on. And so I came here today for that selfish reason, to be inspired by each of these students here today and the incredible work that you all are doing in your communities. When he was here, he probably said every single year what was one of his favorite phrases, which is "bloom where you're planted." I see some heads nodding. You can hear him saying that. And what he meant by that is wherever you are in your life, in your school, in your community, in your country, find a way to make an impact. And the small impacts, or what might feel like small impacts, helping a student or a group of students who are your classmates, helping someone in your neighborhood or in your community, actually make a big impact. And I know that's what the students who are being awarded here today have done. To ask ourselves, what is peace? Is it, Margaret talked about some of the wars that we have experienced and are living through. Is peace just the absence of war, absence of conflict, or are there other deeper qualities to it? I think, and what the students here today demonstrate, is that true peace exists when we create environments where everyone feels safe and everyone feels free to pursue their life path, whatever it is, fully and freely. And we know that we have a long way to go in that regard, in our community and our country. Right now, as I said, a lot of folks are feeling scared and overwhelmed by events here and across the world. I woke up yesterday and started scrolling my phone at 5 in the morning, which I don't recommend from a mental health perspective. Students definitely don't do that. But that's what I did, and I learned about the war in Iran. A war that is, in my view, not just illegal and unconstitutional, but reckless and unwise. And then I looked at my calendar and saw that I'd be coming here to the Student Peace Awards. And I thought, wow, what great time, honestly. What better time to be coming together to celebrate and honor these students who have committed themselves to a more peaceful community, country, and planet. And look, it's really tempting right now, maybe, although these students haven't succumbed to that temptation, to withdraw or step back or kind of accept defeat in the movement toward peace, but we can't afford to do that. We cannot afford to do that. And I remain optimistic, really optimistic, not just because of each of you, the students who are here, the adults in our community who are supporting and celebrating your work, but I'm optimistic because of the journey we've been on as a country for almost 250 years now, and the hard times we've overcome, and the progress that we've made. And time after time after time, interestingly, young people, and I'm 43 years old, so I can say that, young people, like you all, have led us out of the darkness, have led us toward progress. And I think a lot about, in 1955, there was a teenager. His family were sharecroppers in Alabama, and he was listening to the radio. They had a radio in their home. And he listened to a radio program talking about the Birmingham bus boycott, one of the early organized actions in the civil rights movement, led largely by young people. And this teenager in rural Alabama, young black teenager, and he has told this story, had no awareness or consciousness around civil rights or equality. He knew that for some reason he couldn't use the same drinking fountain as the white people he saw in town. He knew that he went to a different school that was dilapidated and run down. He didn't quite understand why. He hadn't objected to that. He didn't have that consciousness. But he heard on the radio about the Birmingham bus boycott. And that moment changed his life. That one moment, hearing that there were people out there, other young people, fighting and advocating for equality and freedom, changed his life completely. His name was John Lewis. And John Lewis went on to become, of course, one of the preeminent leaders of the civil rights movement in this country, ultimately elected to the United States Congress. And it's a powerful story for two reasons. One, shortly after he heard that radio program, he got on a bus himself and joined the Birmingham bus boycott, launching a lifetime of advocacy and protest that helped to free all of us in many different ways. But it's also powerful because those people who were organizing that boycott, doing that work in Birmingham, probably had no idea that their project, which at the time felt like probably a relatively minor protest that may or may not create any long-term progress, that project inspired one of the greatest leaders our nation has ever seen. So what I would just leave you all with, each of the students here today, is that you have no idea the impact that your work has had or could have. And you might never know. You might never fully know what each of your respective projects and commitments has done to inspire somebody else, to give somebody else the courage to take the next step in their path toward progress. So my ask of you is, don't let this award ceremony be the end of your journey in advocating for peace. Let this be the beginning. I hope you will continue and build on the great work that you've already done. It's a great honor for me to be here with you today, to hear about your great work and to share a little bit in the celebration of what you've done. So thank you all so much for having me. Congratulations.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ryan McElveen, as you heard. I'm an at-large member on the school board. Some of you may know me as Queen Elsa. But I'm delighted to be here today on behalf of my colleagues, Ms. Anderson, Ms. Lady, Ms. St. John Cunning, and Mr. Moon, to thank you for being here, and also to thank Margaret and all the sponsors of this incredible event that we come to every year for persisting in this work. And thank you to everyone else for being here to celebrate these remarkable young peacemakers. Today's ceremony, as you probably know, was established to encourage all of us to think more deeply about peace, both as an ideal and as a practice, and to honor young people whose actions have brought compassion, understanding, and justice into the world around them. Since its founding in 2006, this awards program has grown countywide, inviting every high school to recognize students or student groups whose efforts have made their schools and communities more peaceful and more just. We are here to honor individuals whose work reflects leadership, empathy, and courage. These are students who saw conflict or injustice and responded not with silence or passivity, but with action. It is a particularly challenging time to be engaged in peacemaking work, as we have heard. Violent conflict continues to devastate Ukraine and Gaza, and in recent weeks and even hours, bombing and unrest has reached the shores of Venezuela and Iran. Around the world, headlines remind us daily of division and suffering. At home, our neighbors are being pulled off the streets and deported. This is precisely why the work of peace matters so deeply today. At a time when peace prizes can be miscast as political victories, the students we honor today embody something far more powerful. They did not begin their projects seeking recognition. They acted because they saw a need. They chose courage over cynicism, compassion over indifference, and service over self-interest. Their works remind us that peace is forged not only in treaty rooms or on global stages, it is built in classrooms, neighborhoods, and communities by people who listen, lead, and care. These students show us that even in a fractured world, hope is not naive. It is necessary, and it is powerful. An essential part of peace is engagement, civic engagement, community involvement, and the willingness to step forward with creativity and courage. But we also live in a time when student engagement, especially around difficult social issues, can be challenged or even discouraged. To combat this, in 2019, in Fairfax County, our school board passed the nation's first civic engagement policy, giving students one opportunity, one excused absence per year to engage in these activities. Across our country and here in Fairfax, students who seek to express themselves through walkouts or demonstrations are facing a complex landscape of rules, expectations, and sometimes obstacles that can make it harder for them to exercise their voice. Yet civic engagement, responsibly expressed, is not a liability in democracy. It is one of our greatest strengths. Young people who care enough to take action are not threats, they are our hope. And we must teach them the tools of constructive dialogue and peaceful action. That is what today is about, celebrating students who have learned, practiced, and shared the work of peace. It is about recognizing that peacemaking isn't abstract. It happens in school hallways, in community service, in mentoring younger students, and in advocating for understanding across lines of difference. To all the recipients today, thank you. Thank you for seeing possibility where others see obstacles. Thank you for reminding us that peace is not a passive state, but a series of choices, choices that you make every day. You inspire us, and you challenge us to be better alongside you. Congratulations to you and your families. May your work continue to make Fairfax County and the world a much more peaceful place.
Okay. folks at the front, and as I read about you. And don't forget to face the photographers and not them. So first is Annandale High School, Lily Rumpf. As president of the National Business Honor Society at Annandale, Lily Rumpf has introduced a service component to the club. She leads financial information sessions where members can provide financial advice as a community resource. She created presentations covering the basics of finance for high school students. These sessions are translated live into Spanish by student volunteers. Lily has also tutored in the Adams Writing Center, providing academic support in both English and Spanish. She organized school-wide workshops, often with as many as 50 students, and she collaborated with teachers to provide targeted help for ESOL and IB students. Thank you. From Cedar Lane School, Caleb Crawford. Caleb creates an atmosphere of peacefulness that positively influences other students and is consistently warm and welcoming to new students and faculty. He customarily invites new students into his social circle, which is especially helpful for students who have anxiety or other difficulties with typical peer interactions. He was elected by the students to be co-president of the Student Government Association. When he regularly makes the morning announcements over the intercom, his calm yet enthusiastic voice sets a mood of positivity for the day. He is always happy to help with programs in the school, including maintenance of the outdoor classroom or volunteering in the school's cedar closet, where students or family can get clothing, shoes, school supplies, or food. His teachers note, Caleb leads by example. He makes it a priority to project an attitude of calm cheerfulness, which fosters the same reactions in others. From Centerville High School, Shiva Amanzai. Established Wings of Afghan Hope, coordinating with more than 50 volunteers to deliver food, winter clothing, items for education, and hygiene kits to more than 15,000 people across Afghanistan. She designed literacy and English education programs that have enrolled more than 300 girls who have benefited from more than 1,000 hours of instruction. When online access is not possible, Afghan volunteers coordinate informal study groups. These volunteers must frequently adjust modes of instruction due to Taliban restrictions on girls' education. After creating Wings of Afghan Hope, Shiva established a tutoring program for Afghan students at her school. The Afghan Student Association at Centerville High School helps students from Afghanistan who may be struggling because of language barriers or loneliness. From Chantilly High School, the Voices of Chantilly, Advait Katuri, Ved Patil, Athri Shaboli, Pranav Adavi, and Risha Gohoroy. Voices of Chantilly is a club that helps build peace by teaching attendees to better express themselves by finding their own voice and sharing their diverse perspectives in a safe, non-threatening environment. The club teaches that successful speaking is not about winning arguments, but about engaging those who listen. Members also learn that strong communication requires active listening, openness to feedback, and respect for different viewpoints. 20 or more students attend the weekly meetings where they practice giving TED-style speeches share personal stories in ways that build understanding rather than debate, develop specific habits that reduce conflict and build trust, and learn how to give constructive feedback. The students report that using these skills outside the club prevents disagreements from escalating. Thank you. From Edison High School, Aya Ali. Aya Ali has worked to help reduce suffering of families who were displaced and impacted by the civil war in Sudan, which has created the world's largest humanitarian crisis. Aya traveled to Sudan and volunteered there to provide food to internally displaced families, an effort that supplied over 10,000 urgently needed meals. Here in the United States, Aya raised $2,000 to help build a small library in one of the camps for internally displaced children, providing an alternative learning space in the absence of school classes. The remaining funds were used to purchase needed food, medical supplies, and other urgent essentials. Most recently, Aya has pursued funding to rehab a nonprofit center for kids with disabilities in Sudan that was nearly destroyed during the war. So far, the effort has built new beds for wards where children come and stay for long-term treatment. Thank you. From Fairfax High School, Dominika Ravi. Dominika Ravi has been working to address biased speech in her school and beyond, motivated by witnessing a troubling rise in the casual use of racial slurs and stereotypes among students. She joined GMU's Youth Research Council, whose mission is to promote community capacity building and racial equity through ongoing research activities. She has participated in data collection, analysis, and presentation, and transformed student testimonials into art, poems, word clouds, and a quilt of impactful phrases. Dominika joined her school's equity team in her junior year, working to promote social awareness and positive change. The experience has made her more aware of her own words and actions and has deepened her commitment to equity and justice. From Falls Church High School, Gabriela Henriquez. Gabriela co-founded the Hispanic Youth Initiative, HYI, a student-led organization that enlists volunteers from high schools across Fairfax County to promote STEM education for underrepresented communities. HYI launched a STEM club at Mason Crest Elementary School, a Title I school, using affordable household materials to teach engineering and science concepts. They sponsored a science tutoring program for 5th grade students at West Lawn Elementary School and relaunched the school's Science Olympiad program. HYI has also collaborated with other organizations to sponsor a computer science STEAM fair at Braddock Elementary. Gabby actively calls upon local students and larger nonprofits to collaborate, demonstrating that communal effort is the path to achieving equity across Fairfax County. From Hayfield Secondary School, Sania Imani. When Sania Imani was 4 years old, her father was injured while serving in Afghanistan and was afterwards diagnosed with PTSD. She and her sister Azara launched a blog in 2025 titled "We Signed Up Too," to provide a safe, supportive space for children of wounded, ill, and injured veterans. Her blog has helped bring visibility to the overlooked needs of these children and has encouraged organizations that traditionally focus on disabled veterans to expand their support to include their families. She has also partnered with organizations such as Willing Warriors and Cloverleaf Equine Center to organize day-long events for children of disabled veterans. Thank you. From Herndon High School, Freydis Guion Ayala is Freydis here? I didn't think so. Okay. Freydis participated in work camps as part of a youth ministry program sponsored by the Catholic Diocese of Arlington. These overnight camps emphasize service, faith, and fellowship. His task in the first year was to replace windows in one house, and in the second year he installed vinyl flooring in a house that was in significant need of repair. The work gave him a sense of real accomplishment, and the owners expressed that now their home would feel like their house would feel like a real home. From Justice High School, Andrew Budendek, Fernando Ventura from The Verdict. Justice High School's newspaper, The Verdict, was revitalized this year after publishing only one issue last year. Students in Mark Gaffin's journalism class and in the after-school Verdict Club contribute to the newspaper, whose mission is to inform students about current news while making it consumable and entertaining. Article topics have included sports betting, teen pregnancy, and interactions by students with ICE. Justice is a very diverse school, and kids have experienced traumatic interactions with ICE. Through her article, the writer can give her friends a voice. The Verdict has had a wide and positive impact at Justice. Mr. Gaffin said, "I'm surprised by seeing how many people love having a hard copy of The Verdict. It creates a platform for everyone to talk about and share." From Lake Braddock Secondary School, Yenny Lee Doe. Yenny Lee Doe established a nonprofit organization, Books and Basics, to provide clothing and school supplies to her family's community in Vietnam. The organization has made its first delivery and plans to partner with a larger organization to continue the work. She created 3,780 origami birds for the nonprofit organization, Origami for Good. During a summer program, she was the hardware lead on a robotics team that created a robotic hand to translate speech to sign language finger spelling. At Lake Braddock, she resurrected the Technology Student Association to help other girls get involved in engineering. She has also participated in a variety of other service projects for school organizations. Thank you. From Langley High School, Ryan Musmar. When Ryan Musmar was 15, he taught English as a second language to refugees in Amman, Jordan, while he was visiting his extended family. He then published a paper on the economy of the Gaza Strip, examining the effects of prolonged conflicts and strategies for building a self-sufficient and peaceful future. Here at home, he founded the Hijra Initiative to educate immigrants on their rights under United States law, organizing a workshop for people in congregations of multiple mosques on their legal rights. He also addressed more than 1,000 delegates at the Global Citizens Model United Nations Conference, urging Middle Eastern nations to combat climate change through a coalition enforcing corporate environmental accountability. High School, Rachel Yusoff. Today. Rachel Yusoff started the Instagram page, Voices for Women. The student-led page, with over 400 followers, posts about issues such as the pay gap between men and women, unfair myths about women, and the importance of women lifting each other up. Rachel is also involved with the Lewis High School Girls Need Love Club, with a mission to inspire girls and raise their feelings of self-worth. They help girls both inside and outside the school improve as individuals and focus on the issues that affect them. Every October, they sponsor a Pink Act event for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. During her time with the club, Rachel helped organize and promote a menstrual product donation drive, sorted donated hygiene products, and assisted distributing them to women in need. Thank you, Rachel. From Madison High School, Audrey Tan and Allison Shu from the Red Cross Club. The Madison High School Red Cross Club functions under the National Capital Region Red Cross, whose mission is to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies by mobilizing the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors. Audrey Tan and Allison Shu restarted the club after several years of hiatus. The club has nearly 20 regular attenders of their monthly meetings, but has had as many as 70 attend actively focused events. This year, they created more than 50 handmade cards for veterans with messages of hope and appreciation for their past service. The second card event recognized first responders who served the Vienna community with 30 handmade cards. In addition, this fall, the club sponsored a toy drive to provide a bright holiday season for the community's neediest families. Thank you. From Marshall High School, Lucia Castellon-Soria. Lucia Castellon-Soria is a student ambassador at Marshall High School, welcoming new students and helping them get oriented and make connections. She is also the president of Latinos Unidas, a group of Latino students at Marshall that shares Latino culture, schedules fun events, and creates cards to sell for scholarships. As part of this group, she participated in a conference last year to help solve some recurrent issues at Marshall. This resulted in new rules and channels of communication with the administration. She also arranged a meeting for students worried about ICE to learn about their rights. Congratulations. From McLean High School, Chloe Jung. Chloe is president of the Interact Club at McLean High School, a service club sponsored by the McLean Rotary. The Interact Club has been focusing this year on endangered species, especially elephants in Laos, raising funds and increasing community awareness. Chloe has also advocated for marine conservation and pollution prevention through her art, participating in international contests to explore ocean conservation. In addition, Chloe participates in the student leadership program sponsored by the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, advocating with the General Assembly for funding and legislation to reduce pollution and provide effective response to dangers from climate change. Congratulations. From Mount Vernon High School, Savon Clark. As a member of the FCPS Student Equity Ambassador Leaders, or SEALs team, Savon Clark created a template for schools to use to highlight their school's mental health team, including counselors, psychologists, and social workers, increasing awareness and ensuring easy access for students. She is working on a letter writing campaign for students to advocate in support of FCPS guidance counselors. She is also involved with the Global Leaders of Fairfax County program, co-leading the Peace, Justice, and Strong Institutions section, and focusing on topics that include access to quality education and a reduction in inequalities as it relates to FCPS students. Congratulations. From Mountain View High School, Sana Stamisai. And her award will be accepted by Mike Hardy on her behalf. When girls' schools were closed in Afghanistan, Sanas Niskai lost several years of learning and had to stay home. Before coming to the U.S., she and her family lived in a refugee camp in Qatar. At Mountain View High School, writing helped her turn her difficult experience into something meaningful and powerful. She wrote a piece for the school newspaper entitled "From Hope to Deprivation, the Story of Education." The article describes the promise and the pain of Afghan girls whose educational opportunities were ruthlessly taken away. She explains, "When classmates or teachers hear my story, they better understand why education and equality matter. Peace starts when people listen to each other and feel empathy." From Oakton High School, Yanis Maheni. Yanis Maheni joined the Oakton Pantry at Oakton High School 2 years ago. The pantry is available to help Oakton High School students and their families, as well as members of the larger Oakton community who are in need, offering non-perishable food, personal hygiene items, household cleaning products, and school supplies. Each Tuesday, Yanis coordinates volunteer packing of the supplies, organizing between 15 and 25 students and coordinating with parent volunteers. The donations are sorted into 30 to 40 bags each week, which are then distributed by parent volunteers. The work is supported by fundraisers from various student groups at Oakton High School. Congratulations. From Quandah Rose School, Bryson Smith. Bryson Smith is described by his teachers as a young man who embodies the principles of peace, empathy, and integrity in everything he does. He has actively defused conflicts within the community. His presence brings a sense of stability, compassion, and quiet leadership that makes Quandah Rose School a better place for both students and staff. Bryson doesn't seek recognition. Instead, he simply does what's right because it's who he is. He believes tolerance is the first step towards understanding and is always the path we must walk for peace. Thank you. From Robinson Secondary School, Caitlin Murphy. Caitlin Murphy started the Connecting Through Cards Club, which collects and delivers as many as 1,500 cards a month to local retirement homes. Caitlin and club members now visit retirement homes regularly to hold activities like card parties for residents to come together, chat, and listen to music while they compose messages to send to their families and friends. She even arranged for an orchestra to play Christmas music at a retirement community center last year. Caitlin says her experiences have given her the understanding that peace is not simply a matter of nonviolence, but rather the creation of communities where every person feels valued and safe. From South County High School, Kayan Kandahari. Is Kayan here today? Kayan Kandahari has raised hundreds of dollars for aid to crisis-stricken regions such as Palestine, the Congo, and Afghanistan. He is one of the founders of Voices Unmuted, which focuses on publishing groundbreaking research that examines critical issues affecting nations in crisis. He has led projects to address health issues, for instance by publishing several articles on healthcare for young people, establishing a chapter of Blood Cancer United to provide support to blood cancer patients, and working with another organization on the prevention of eating disorders. Kayan is also active in Principal Feedback Forum, which provides students at South County the opportunity to meet with their principal to discuss topics on student life and to create plans to make the school a better place. Thank you, Kayan. From South Lakes High School, Alden Walcott. As a proud member of the Nansemond Indian Nation, Alden Walcott has written about her tribe for Virginia Public Media, where she is a member of the PBS News Student Reporting Lab's Student Advisory Team. In one article, she wrote about the 1924 Racial Integrity Act, which reclassified all Virginians as white or colored and eliminated the option of identifying as Indian. The law made it nearly impossible for some of Virginia's tribes to gain federal recognition because it is difficult to demonstrate the tribe's continued presence in the state through the 20th century. In another piece she produced for PBS, How Indigenous Teens Stay Connected with Their Heritage, she explored how high school and college-aged Native Americans express and navigate their cultural identities, hoping to challenge stereotypes and spark meaningful conversations about what it means to be Indigenous today. From Thomas Jefferson High School for Science and Technology, Anwar Kiyar. Anwar Kiyar created a computer programming course offered free of charge to children ages 9 to 12 at his mosque. Parents shared that their children had discovered excitement, confidence, and community through participation in Anwar's class. He then initiated a weekly math club for elementary-aged children, incorporating collaborative incentives that strengthened teamwork, deepened understanding, and reinforced a sense of community. At TJ, Anwar is the co-president of the Send a Smile Club, whose purpose is to promote kindness. Projects have included a school supply drive, crafting uplifting cards that were delivered to hospitalized children, making bracelets for cancer patients, and spearheading anti-bullying initiatives such as videos, a Unity Day event, and a kindness chain, in which each link of the paper chain consisted of a handwritten message of positive reassurance. Congratulations. From Westfield High School, the Student Equity Ambassador Leaders, or SEALs, Bome Boche and Shayoni Bose. I think just the two of them, right? Please come up. Student Equity Ambassador Leaders is a leadership program in which students from different schools meet together and learn to take an active role in fostering a school culture of inclusiveness and to create a welcoming and culturally responsive environment for students, families, and staff. The Westfield SEALs meet monthly. Projects have included working with the Women of Westfield Club to increase access to sanitary products, advocating for a change in the rule that prevents students from holding an office in student government if they could not fit the required class into their schedule, and seeking a way to reduce vaping in the school bathrooms. They hope to make a video which discusses the use of racial slurs and other offensive language. Congratulations. From West Potomac High School, Annalise Richardson. Annalise Richardson has participated in Model UN and in Georgetown University's Global Leaders Fellowship. She has served as an intern with the League of Women Voters and has helped to register hundreds of eligible voters. She is the chair of the Fairfax County Student Human Rights Commission, which aims to promote dialogue on diversity, foster a greater understanding and appreciation of differences, create exposure to human and civil rights laws, and encourage active participation in government. Their plans for the year include doing a book drive for Read Across America Week, helping each high school develop an International Night celebration, and recruiting students from each high school to serve on the commission. Congratulations. From West Springfield High School, Natalie Agnosia. As co-president for the West Springfield High School Asian American Student Association, Natalie Agnosia organized a clothing drive along with other donated items for a hospital in the Philippines. She has also managed Filipino dance performances for International Night. As president of West Springfield's Interact Club, she coordinated a food packing event for food insecure families in Northern Virginia. She worked with Christie's Christmas, which provides gifts and essential items for students who are from Title I elementary schools, recruiting 95 new volunteers and coordinating the project. And finally, from Woodson High School, Maya Ken. As a cellist in Woodson's orchestra, Maya Kim was inspired to find ways for deaf and hard of hearing students to experience and enjoy music. She partnered with her teacher, Mrs. Wilcox, and Music Not Impossible to bring to Woodson a device called Vibrotextile, a harness with 8 distinct vibration zones across the body, which are carefully tuned to convey different musical elements in the orchestra, such as violins, violas, cellos, bass, and percussion. This allows the wearer to physically feel the music, mirroring the complexity and emotional range of live performances. The students who tried it laughed, cried, and danced, feeling connected to something they'd only been able to observe from the outside. Maya participated in a presentation to the Virginia Music Educators Association conference to demonstrate the possibilities of the harnesses to music teachers from across the state. Okay, all right. So now can we have one more round of applause for all of us?